Hello. In a debate between PhD Tony and Robin from Facebook, the topic of seismic propagation waves came up with an animation. In 2022, there was a bit of a buzz at the time regarding the Hunga Tonga volcano eruption, and when PhD Tony was talking about seismic wave propagation, I wanted to create my own wave animation videos in the hopes that they could be useful when dealing with the average flat earther. I tried to find, without any luck, atmospheric pressure data from the weather stations suitable to detect when the pressure wave passed it. Obtaining what I wanted felt a bit like looking for a needle in a haystack. Eventually, with a brief back and forth, PhD Tony provided me with the name of a scientific paper that studied the Lamb wave propagation from that eruption. Check the description for links and more information. As it turns out, with enough digging around, I was able to obtain not only the data for over 100 atmospheric pressure monitoring stations, but I was also able to obtain time-lapse videos from satellites that showed the wave propagation itself. What I found most useful for this exercise that the scientific paper referred to contained a CSV formatted list of stations with each arrival time that the propagation wave passed it. It should be noted that comparing the average propagation time against individual times, some stations deviate more and more over the course of the several days. This is quite possibly due to the attenuation of the pressure fluctuation or path deviations from terrain reflections after repeated passes. Also included were videos with 2 map projections showing the relevant perturbations in air pressure and 5 different weather satellite time lapses. The station data is simple enough, but what I found very interesting and unexpected was the satellite videos. If I understand correctly what the time-lapse videos portray, the weather satellites were able to capture the disturbance in the atmosphere caused by the eruption. As the pressure wave moved across the atmosphere, it changed the temperature density and water vapor distribution ever so slightly. That disturbance in the atmospheric conditions altered how much infrared radiation the weather satellites were able to see, which showed up as a detectable ripple that moved over the Earth in the VW062 spectral band. Another interesting bit of information I found out was that the wave propagation was altered by local terrain. That phenomenon is apparent in the Meteosat 11 video that showed several crescent-like wavefronts meeting up at the opposite side of the Earth at slightly different times. Given how many flat earthers claim satellite images are CGI or are somehow faked, presumably to perpetuate the illusion of a globe in space, if not only the ripple was added at the time, but the increasingly chaotic propagation was as well, that shows some serious dedication from those creating those said CGI images. With the propagation times for various stations in hand, I was trying to think how I should best create my own videos. I decided on the following. I reformatted the data as distinct arrival times at any given station and sorted the list by time. Retrieved the geolocations for each station and wrote a new app that overlays them onto any of the map projections I already have coded. Animated a wavefront on that projection from the volcano at the calculated average speed that was determined by the obtained data set. When the computed animation time reached the station's reported arrival time, I pinged the station's location pin. This allows us to compare how close an ideal wavefront is to the recorded wavefront. From the initial eruption to the time the wavefront reached the other side of the Earth approximately 18 hours later, the provided station arrival times were very close to the animated wavefront. This showed that the computed wavefront lined up closely with the scientific paper's reported arrival times. As it continued over the following days, the wavefront reflections from surface features created more and more distortions, so after several days, they were no longer synchronized with the ideal wavefront. I recreated the views as seen from the weather satellites for comparison. So take a close look at my recreations compared to the videos produced for that scientific paper. You should be able to notice several things. The eruption took place at 4:14 a.m. UTC on the 15th, and the stations were measuring the wavefront arrival times at nearly the expected time. By the 20th, I would surmise, looking at my recreated animation, that the wavefront had become so chaotic, the stations that were still measuring it were registering the arrival far from the expected ideal propagation time. This was quite possibly due to a greatly weakened signal amid the noise and from the pressure wave echoes caused by mountains and other objects. After several days, the researchers could also have mistaken those pressure wave fluctuations not from the eruption, but possibly from other sources, perhaps from an airplane flying overhead. The last detectable signal could be considered a curiosity more than an actual signal from the eruption, but I recreated the entire 5 days worth of data. So let me know in the comments what you think. Is the Hunga Tonga eruption wave propagation captured by the weather satellites, along with those station arrival times supporting evidence that the Earth is a globe, or a very clever fake bit of propaganda? For the flat earthers, how could the pressure wave front appear to move like it should on a globe if we live inside a flat earth dome? I invite flat earthers to explain how 5 different satellites captured what looked like a globe with a wave front that appeared to move like one on a globe, with hundreds of recording stations capable of recording atmospheric pressure, registering a disturbance at times consistent with wave propagation on a globe. If you're a glober and want to use this video when talking to flat earthers, let me know in the comments. I can provide you with a copy of the originals. I could also easily redo the animations to make the wavefront easier to see. I'm going to play the animations now with the satellite time lapses mostly synchronized. I did the best job that I could given the very few frames that were in the original time lapse videos. So that's going to be it for now. Thank you for watching. You know what to do. And with that, I'm going to see you again in another video. Bye for now.